Autumn chill. It was autumn, and my then boyfriend and I were engrossed in watching the new Enders game at my place. Our solitude was due to the fact that my mom was at the hospital visiting my aunt on her way back home from work. As we immersed ourselves in the movie, the sun dipped below the horizon, casting our surroundings into darkness. Suddenly, I heard what I could have sworn were my mother's footsteps, the telltale excitement of our dog as well, and what seemed like her usual routine of heading to the garage for a smoke. My boyfriend noticed too, commenting, "Your mom's home," to which I responded with a nonchalant, "I know." Felt like a typical evening, yet as minutes turned into an eternity, she never made her way inside. A creeping sense of unease settled in, compelling me to investigate. I cautiously approached the garage door and was surprised to find it locked, an anomaly in our home. I fumbled for the keys, unlocked the door, and peered inside, but it was engulfed in pitch-black darkness. With a growing sense of foreboding, I ventured to her room, only to discover it devoid of any presence, like a void. When I decided to step outside, there, in the driveway, a chilling realization struck me. Her car was conspicuously absent, as if it vanished into thin air. A perplexed and anxious knot tightened in my chest, and I immediately dialed my mom's number. The questions were racing through my mind. When she answered, her voice sent shivers down my spine. "No," she said. "I'm just leaving the hospital now." "Why? What's going on?" I shared the inexplicable sequence of events with my boyfriend, and we were left utterly bewildered. To this day, I struggle to make sense of what happened that night. One thing is certain, it wasn't my mom who entered our home, and that chilling mystery remains etched in my memory. Non-believer. I'm not usually one to entertain supernatural beliefs or superstitions. Ghost? Never crossed my mind. In fact, I used to jest with my friends saying I'd love to see a ghost just to shake up my understanding of reality. Well, that wish came true, and I can say with absolute certainty from my experience, ghosts are very much real. It happened at my friend's modern, newly built house. I was casually making my way into the kitchen when I saw it. The small mudroom off the kitchen with its doorway leading to the garage. Strangely, there was no other way in or out of the garage except through the main garage door itself, and it was firmly closed at that time. As I got closer to the mudroom, roughly 6 feet away, a woman appeared out of thin air in the doorway. She clung to the corner of the wall and gracefully swung into the kitchen, hanging by just one hand. To my surprise, she had a friendly grin on her face, as if she was delighted to see me. I remember her appearance vividly, a matte black sleeveless top, which had the look of silk, though something told me it wasn't real silk. She wore black jeans that tapered elegantly to her ankles, and there was no jewelry to be seen. Her ethnicity appeared to be European, possibly mixed heritage. Her hair was shoulder length, with a slight wave and a brownish-orange hue. Light freckles adorned her nose and cheeks, making her to appear to be around 34 or 35 years old. My immediate reaction was to jump back, my body instinctively bending forward in shock. I couldn't help but shout, "Who are you?" Then, the strangest part unfolded. She simply disappeared. It wasn't a gradual fade, but a sudden disappearance, as though she'd never been there. But the uncanny part was that the entire scene played out again, like a bizarre replay. She swung into the doorway, gripping the corner of the wall, grinning at me once more. I was caught in the same state of shock, and once again, she vanished into thin air. It was as if the universe hit the rewind button on this encounter. I couldn't help but think about the Nest device on the kitchen counter, wondering if it had captured the fear in my voice and the bizarre repetition. Once I gathered my wits, I cautiously approached the mudroom and entered it. There were a few cupboards, but they were all filled with canned goods and wine bottles, leaving no room for a grown woman to hide. I also checked the garage, but everything was in order, undisturbed. Since that spine-tingling moment, I've been avoiding that mudroom like the plague, and even now, I can't help but feel uneasy whenever my back is turned towards it. Sometimes I wonder whether she really was there, smiling at me in a positive way, or whether she was there to hurt me. What the hell was I looking at? Summer getaway. During a summer getaway in 2018, I embarked on a journey across Florida, making my way from the bustling western side to the more serene eastern region, all in pursuit, of course, of the legendary Route 1 that leads to the captivating Florida Keys. Along the route, I made a pit stop at a remote gas station nestled between the two sides. To my surprise, a young lad, appearing no older than 12 or 13, was at hand to assist with refueling my car. Out of curiosity, I casually asked him if the gas station belonged to his family. His response was unexpected as he replied, "No, it's owned by the tribe." Apparently, I'd stumbled onto a Native American reservation. As the minutes passed, a pressing need to use the restroom became apparent. After refilling my gas tank, I parked my car and made my way to the ladies' room, tucked discreetly on the side of the gas station. Just moments before I reached the restroom door, a lady entered ahead of me, walking about 10 or 15 feet ahead. I patiently waited outside, assuming she would soon complete her business. A few minutes later, another lady approached me and inquired whether someone was already inside. I reassured her that the restroom was occupied. We both stood there, waiting in anticipation, but as time ticked away, impatience started to settle in. The second lady turned to me and remarked, "She's been in there for quite some time. Are you certain someone's in there?" I nodded affirmatively, saying, "Yeah, I saw her go in there." However, as soon as our repeated knocks on the restroom door went unanswered, doubts began to creep in. Frustrated, the other lady decided to seek out the restroom key. She returned with the key and unlocked the door. I knocked once more, but to my bewilderment, there was still no response. Building on my courage, I cautiously pushed the door open. Inside, the room was empty, lit dimly by a small window high up on the wall. A perplexing sense of confusion washed over me as I tentatively explored the room, half expecting to find some hidden passage or bizarre explanation. Eventually, I washed my hands and left the empty restroom. The lady who had fetched the key remained silent and proceeded to enter, probably very angry at me. But I can attest, without a shadow of a doubt, I had seen a lady enter that restroom. I witnessed it with my very own eyes. Whether anyone believes me or doesn't, I do know that she went in there. I always wonder if it had anything to do with being on that Native American reservation. Part of me thinks that I was there at the wrong time, and part of me thinks that maybe what I experienced was a residual energy. Did that lady I came in contact with have anything to do with what was going on that land? The lady who wanted in the bathroom was clearly annoyed by that time, and so was I. How could I have been so naive? I could almost tell that she didn't believe me when I told her there was someone in there. I truly wasn't making up a ghost story. Everything I saw with my own eyes. But I was living a ghost story, so perhaps it was better to just stay off this land for good.